In 1990, one of the greatest comic book adaptations ever made burst onto the big screen. Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. With its star-studded cast, bold colours, unforgettable villains, and a tidal wave of merchandise, this film became a short-lived but powerful cultural phenomenon. Now, more than 30 years later, this podcast is here to explore, unpack, and dissect this brightly coloured masterpiece, week by week, scene by scene. So pull up a chair at the Southside Warehouse, because there's going to be a big payoff.
Hello and welcome to Talking Dick, the Dick Tracy movie podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Simon Creswell, and joining me from Prune Faces Beauty Salon, Mr.
It's James Tilling.
That was my best effort at doing Prune Face.
You had some work done.
Oh yeah, it did. Getting there, just kind to wrinkle myself up a bit.
Your wrinkles look good. Is that oil of Ulay? Yeah, really making you look beautiful. How are you, James? Had a good week?
Yes. It's been another good week and a good fun doing lots of Dick Tracy research, finding out so much, and excited to share it with you and any of our listeners and viewers.
And what are we researching this week? Let's get the cat out of the bag.
So today we are doing costumes. So everything costume design related in the movie.
Oh, and I thought we were doing the sets. Oh, I've got the wrong research.
Oh.
That's next time. Yes, we're looking at the costumes, obviously a key part of the Dick Tracy movie. And there's quite a bit to cover with this, obviously. But the costumes are down to one woman. Can you pronounce her name?
I'll do my best. She is Melina Cananero. So
I think, Melina Cananero sounds good to me. Could be pronounced differently, but we'll go with that. She grew up in Genoa. Genoa is Italy, isn't it? That is Italy.
She was born in Turin, but
okay.
I don't know.
Born in Turin, grew up in Genoa, and studied design and costume in Genoa before moving to England. There you go. So she's been all over Europe. So today's focus is looking at the costumes of Dick Tracy, designed by this amazing woman who's still with us. I think she's 80 now. So she's still out there, still working hard, and kind of unpicking that. And seeing what our research into the costumes has brought us.
Because she's a very interesting lady as well. I found out that she said her exceptional skills associated with prestigious encounters led her from the opera to theatre by the way of movies for motion picture. And that's how she got into doing films. She had an opportunity to meet Stanley Kubrick in 1969. Yeah, wow. When he was doing 2001: A Space Odyssey, and she basically got involved then. She got on really, really well with Stanley. Stanley got her to do the costumes for Clockwork Orange.
Wow. I mean, stop right there. Obviously iconic. The white suits in Clockwork Orange, the hats, the look. Yeah. So she's responsible for that.
Warren Beatty didn't just pick like a rising star again. He's gone out and he's found the best. Like, who can I get who's the best?
Which is an ongoing theme as we talk about this each week. Every week we're picking different people and they are the best in their field.
Imagining, she gets involved in this and Warren says to her, right, so here's my movie. It's going to have 6 colours. That's all we're going to have. And I found a list that apparently the 6 colours are black, white, orange, blue, green and red.
So I've got here in the book a little article about the colours, and it says she used the ones from 1930 to the early 40s, used 4, 5, sometimes 6 colours. She said, I tried to make the characters a little more interesting in the hair, the makeup, the ties, however I could. At Beatty's direction, Cananero, sound like the Simpsons car now, Cananero narrowed her palette of costume colours to 10 basics: red, fuchsia, orange, yellow, green, blue, plum, cyan, black and white. And I think she just stuck to those for the entire film. So everything in the film is those 10 colours with different lighting to kind of create different interpretations of that colour, I guess. My research, by the way, for anyone that's interested, I'm currently reading The Making of the Movie Dick Tracy by Mike Bonifer.
I mean, to be honest with you, I went through the internet to try and find my research, asking AI questions, and your response there was better than anything I found. So it just shows you this hidden information in actual real books. That's where the real gold actually is.
It's funny, I've been watching Short Circuit this week with my son, and in the film Short Circuit, Johnny Five just flicks through books, if you remember, taking it all in. More input. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just flicking through Dick Tracy books.
So the Johnny Five of Dick Tracy.
The Johnny Five of Dick Tracy, that's my new nickname.
Yeah, so to give, again, continued credit for Milena here is that, again, so she only had this limited colour palette to have to build all these characters. So you've kind of like, you can't rely on a rainbow of colours to use to differentiate one character from the other. You've just got subtle shade differences. Yeah. So that's kind of made it even more challenging for her.
Just to go on a bit further, Canonero clipped original comic book drawings of all characters that were in the movie, had them photographed, blown up and tacked to a bulletin board for reference in creating makeup, hair and wardrobe. The costume designer realised that her task in Dick Tracy was not to duplicate the comic strip, but to interpret it for movie audiences by dressing it up in images more sustained to modern eyes. So, she's really thought deeply, I think, about this. And the book actually goes on to say that they've been influenced by German post-expressionistic art of the late 1930s. Which I did start looking into and got lost. I thought, well, this is above my pay grade. But insert example of some German post-expressionist art here.
Yeah. We might get some experts in the field that will come back and give us some more information for us on that.
Yeah, the one person in the world that's into that, and Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
So what other films has she done? Have you got any other films that she's done? Anything's referenced apart from Clockwork Orange?
She did Barry Lyndon as well, another
costumes.
Kubrick. Obviously, lots of great costumes in that. And then she did Chariots of Fire.
I've never seen it, actually. I've never watched Chariots of Fire.
You know what? I've got to be honest, neither have I as well. To say Barry Lyndon, she got the Oscar for. Chariots of Fire, she got the Oscar for. And then she also she got 2 more Oscars. She got 4 Oscars in total. So the third one was Marie Antoinette in 2006.
Film was the talk was about the look of it and the colours and the costumes. Similar to Dick Tracy, actually. That film was very focused on its visuals.
And then her last Oscar, more recently, was for the Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel.
Oh yeah. I can see Wes Anderson actually in the costumes, because his stuff is all very quirky and colourful, isn't it? And unnaturalistic, I guess. He doesn't go for natural outfits.
One thing I should have done a quick check on. I've just realised I didn't do. Obviously, she got nominated for an Oscar for Dick Tracy, but I don't know who she lost out to.
I did look this up because I had a feeling you might ask that question, and I think it was, and I'm gonna have to check this without laughing. But I think it was Cyrano de Bergerac, the film based on the book with our man Gerard Depardieu.
Yes, with the big nose.
Yeah, I think it was that. I'm pretty sure I looked up and that was the film. I'm just checking that out now. Obviously, poor old Gerard. Not poor old Gerard. He's a sex pest. But yeah, he's not really...
He could have been in one of Big Boy's gang, couldn't he? He would have been a perfect candidate.
Yeah, but true. But sadly, no longer popular. So I'm just looking it up now because I feel like I've imagined it. Oh yeah, Cyrano de Bergerac. Yeah, he's the one where he's got the big nose. You are right.
Yeah, well, there you go.
But yeah, I believe that beat Tracy, and that's kind of set in like looks like sort of 1800s France. So I guess there's a lot of outfits and style, more so than 1930s, New York.
So yeah, getting a 2-time Oscar-winning costume designer on board.
And it says here in the book that all the costumes obviously were made by her in the film. However, they did hire the tuxedos for the Ritz, Club Ritz scene. I guess she didn't make every single tuxedo you see, so they hired those.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They go quite deep in this book. They're saying that she intensified colours and simplified forms to define man's relationship to his environment. So this isn't just, whack on that coat, it looks good. This is kind of like shaping the character in the environment they're in.
Shoulders, obviously. Just put some enormous shoulder pads under. That'll do it.
That shoulder's done, yeah. So there's a quote. There's a quote here, and she says, he built up his body, padded the shoulders, the stomach, gave him big rear end, and then Big Boy shows affluence in his clothes. So that's talking about Big Boy. Because you don't even think about his rear end, but he's got a big padded backside, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which you really notice when he's doing the dance number. You notice his physique. She says with Flat Top, his chokingly thin bow tie accented the size and flatness of his head. So by using a small bow tie, his head looks bigger. It's those little touches. There's one about Pat. To Pat's wardrobe, she added a yellow and white bow tie as an emblem of the allegiance to Tracy. It's just these little touches. So when you watch it now, you're going to be like, oh, Pat's wearing that because he's on Tracy's side, Yeah. Flat Top's wearing that because it shows it's got a big head. But I'm trying to think of another example in a film where costumes are used to that effect that isn't like a period piece, like set in like, medieval times, but something in the modern era where they're really using costumes to that level. Because normally films set in the and gangster stuff is all black suits, striped suits, white suits.
Yeah.
You don't watch a James Cagney film and someone's walking around in a pink suit. Well, probably because they're in black and white. Maybe they are.
Right, yeah.
But those colour gangster films, you just don't see it. So
no, you don't. No, because it's a uniform, isn't it? So like most gangster films, all the gangsters are wearing very similar outfits and suits, so you can determine them. And like in obviously military war films, got the Axis and the Allies, and straight away who the Nazis are because they've got different helmets and they've got jodhpurs on, like Star Wars, like all the Imperials are all wearing. But in this, it's like everyone is unique.
Yeah.
So like anyone could be. For Big Boy, they could be working for Tracy. There's nothing in their costume to really determine them. It's individual. It's them. It's not like a uniform. That's their personality. Is their outfit.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just looking through her list of films. You were talking about some, but she also did The Shining, according to this, Midnight Express, Godfather 3, Bulworth, which is another Warren Beatty film. Single White Female. I mean, she's been pretty busy, isn't she? But wow. Almost want to see an exhibition of her outfits. I'm sure they've done one somewhere.
For the 30th anniversary, so in 2020, I believe that Disney did a display. I think it was like in Florida with MGM. I'm reading this, obviously it was 6 years ago and only in America.
Well, if we'd known, we could have had a little trip away, a weekend in Florida. There's very few opportunities as a fan to go and have your picture with something from this film.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do. The giant bridge that's in the film, I don't think is real, is it? There's just nothing that's real.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's everything is a set or a backdrop.
Yeah. So that's amazing. I hope they do that again for the 40th anniversary in 4 years' time.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Looking at Tracy, because the one thing from him is that she's taken that as close as she can from the comic into the film. So like some like with Batman, look at the early Batman comic, and then you looked at the '89 Batman. It's a totally different costume and everything.
To Batman.
Yeah, exactly. It always happens. But whereas this is, it feels like if with Warren and Milena, she's just like they wanted to try and keep it as close to that. So the yellow fedora trench coat it's unnaturally long. It's incredibly long trench coat. It's like a cape, isn't it? And I think that that's the reason why they've kind of maintained that, because it becomes a real part of his image.
When he did the Dick Tracy specials, which we'll cover in a later episode, but I wonder if he wore the same outfit. I wonder if that is the Dick Tracy outfit, or whether he got to keep it, or is that just one that he's made up for those specials? That'd be interesting to know, wouldn't it?
It would be, to do that.
But it says here in the book about the costumes that she got fabrics from England and had to dye them to get the right colours. Just went to real effort to get these things looking as they should. And there's a bit here about the hat, actually. It says that she contacted the folks of Stetson, deep in the heart of Texas, who turned out dozens and dozens of yellow fedoras. Out of the batch of 20, they would produce 4 or 5 that met her demanding specifications. The prototypes had 3 different sizes of crowns, 3 different sizes of brims, and all the combinations thereof. Beatty was photographed in screen tests with each of the hats. So that's just the hat. You think of the effort that's going into that hat, let alone everything else like the jacket. It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I would never have thought that. I just thought they just would have got a fedora, got it bright yellow, and gone that one.
No, it's specific, and that's why perhaps if you're doing fancy dress, people might struggle to get that exact look, because I think the hat has a wider brim. I'm just looking at a picture of it now, but which I think obviously adds to it. But I haven't got any specifics about the coat, I don't think, other than they got these materials from England. But yeah, it's key you get it right, isn't it? Like you said about Batman, you have to get this right to capture Dick Tracy, don't you?
Yeah, because he wears his hat nearly exclusively. I think there's the one scene when he's getting ready, when Flat Top and Itchy turn up and pretend that they're from the orphanage to come and get the kid, and he's like getting ready and putting his like tie on, and he hasn't put his hat on at that point. There's I believe there's so few scenes in the film where he isn't wearing it.
In the diner, he doesn't, does he? When there's a couple of times at home, but whenever he's at work or in the office or out and about, he's got the hat on, hasn't he? You almost picture him he's in the bath, just sat there, wearing the hat.
I would.
Yeah, me too. So, what costumes were on display when they displayed them? Did they display big boys? Do you know? Is there a list of what costumes they displayed?
From the article, we can repost it. It was from, again, from 2020, from d23.com. And they've basically got some actual pictures, like archive pictures, and it's of Dick Tracy's outfit. They've got 3 different types of talkback watches. So I don't know if those are 3 different ones they were going to pick, one for Sam, one for Tracy, and so on. Got Breathless's kind of black sequin dress, and they've got Big Boy's double-breasted red suit with the black pinstripes, and also the blue flat top suit, which is just a pure blue jacket and trousers.
So if you went to that, if anyone's listening and they went to this exhibition in 2020, let us know. Share some pictures, let us know on social media.
Definitely.
I'd be fascinated to know how it was. Funny enough, the two-way wrist radio you were just talking about, it said the watch template actually worked, but the radio didn't. So the watches were real, they moved, but the radios didn't. So I don't know whether she designed those or not, but they're mentioned here in this book. So it says Tracy's costume would not be complete without certain trademark tools of law enforcement trade. Cool. And that the watch was part of that. So maybe she did design the watch, but they would have based it on the comic anyway, wouldn't they? It wasn't unique. There's quite a bit of information about Tess's outfit. And it says here in the book that in the comics, Tess is known for her outfits. It says here that she's always dressed to the nines in outfits that were frilly and cute. But in the movie, Canonero made it more simple. She's got 2 changes of clothes. She has a job and she goes with a detective, so she doesn't have much money. So she reduced the outfits to make it more in keeping with Tess, who can't afford lavish outfits. Yeah. Unlike Breathless, who's got all these extravagant outfits.
Yeah.
But she goes on. I mean, I don't know how specific you want me to go with this, but Tess Trueheart wears a green dress, which in the film's colour scheme suggests tranquility, a sense of order. Later on, she dresses in red, which the filmmakers frequently use to indicate danger. So at the end, she's got the red dress. Oh, you're never going to think about Dick Tracy the same way now, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm going to mute it, and I'm just going to judge it all on colour.
Yeah. But again, this just shows the achievement of this film. This is, people say it was a blockbuster, kids' film, whatever, it's throwaway. They are literally right down to the bloody ties, in terms of making you respond to a character's choice of outfit in that moment. I don't know, this is mind-blowing stuff, actually.
I don't know what information you've got in there on any of the other characters and outfits.
It just talks about the kid and just trying to say that his outfit, they tried to make his clothes when they first meet him oversized. They don't fit. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he's in that very almost silly outfit, isn't he? He has like a little hat and shorts and that.
He looks like a little baseball player, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. But they talk a little bit in the book about him, trying to get the contrast in his outfits when he's actually being fed.
Yeah.
Obviously, Steve the Trap's not feeding him and clothing him, is he?
So basically giving him baggier clothes to make him seem more malnourished.
Yeah. And that they go on a little bit about that in the book. I think they're the only characters they mention. I'm just flicking through now. But again, a massive shout out to this book. If you can find it online, The Making of the Movie Dick Tracy. Yeah, it's kind of covers all areas. And we're going to be using it as we go through these episodes. It just mentions the other thing is just Madonna, really. She obviously has slightly different outfits to everyone else in the film because her outfits are black and quite somber. And they talk about her at one point wearing veils, almost having veils over her face. Again, disguising that face.
There are 8 different outfits that she wears in the film.
Blimey. Okay. So, I thought she might have worn more, actually, because she's in quite a few scenes.
I mean, Dick Tracy wears the same thing through and through. So to have 8 different outfits. So she's got the black sequin gown that she wears in Club Ritz.
Yep. Can picture
She's got the black negligee that she wears in the dressing room. She's got a fur-trimmed robe. Her 4th one is the silver metallic gown, which is for her second stage performance. Her 5th one is an ivory silk slip. The 6th one is a veiled black suit/dress when she's under police investigation. The 7th is the black velvet gown that she wears at the Club Ritz at the late night scene. And the 8th one is the dark coat/trench outfit for the dock confrontation. And what's the 9th outfit that she wears?
The blank.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But I was looking online to see if any of these outfits are sold at auction, just trying to see what was out there. It does say online that a Warren Beatty trench coat and hat from Dick Tracy sold for $40,000, but I don't know. Don't know how true that is. I can't find any verified link. Would someone pay that? Has someone paid that? Again, contact us if you own.
Yeah, please do.
I mean, because I can hear Al Pacino and Dustin Hoffman's costumes, because you're just thinking of the film. We keep thinking of the key characters that we've talked about, but everyone's got a costume, right down to, numbers or mumbles.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your favourites? If you had to pick some of your favourite costumes in the film, what stands out for you? Is there any particular characters? I feel like I know you might say.
I like Sam Catcham's outfit.
Yeah.
is orange. It's so different from being a cop's outfit to be wearing orange. It does look very cool. Others as well. I do like Flat Top. He's got his jacket and then he's just his shirt and braces. So he gets to kind of change his outfit a bit by just removing layers, as it were.
Yep.
Influence, for instance. I don't remember him taking his jacket off the entire time. He's always wearing it.
But I also don't remember her on a little spider like the figure has.
Oh yeah.
And maybe if you look closely and like when it's in 4K, you go, oh, he's got a little spider. Yeah, no, I think because Big Boy's the key one, isn't he? He's got so many cool outfits, which is what we were saying about the toys. We really wanted more Big Boy figures and those amazing outfits. But in terms of side characters, I feel like James Caan has quite a cool outfit. I swear,
this is cool.
When he gets up from the table, he's got quite a lavish outfit.
I quite like 88 Keys as well, but he's got quite a cool hat. Because he wears a flat cap, doesn't he, as well, when he goes and meets the blank? That's quite cool. Because again, hats is another massive thing. I think Flat Top's the only one who doesn't wear a hat because his head is one. But yeah, everyone's got their different hats. I think like Pat has a bowler hat, I think, from memory.
Yeah, because he's
obviously
Irish.
Lots of them are all for...
Isn't he, Pat?
Yes, of course.
Trying to mix it up. I think I read about Littleface, actually. And I think it says here in the book. So Littleface, the mobster with a gargantuan head and diminutive features, is that of the word? Was a tricky character to outfit for obvious reasons. The trickiest of all was his fedora, which was roughly the size of a coffee table. A hat that big, you can't block it, said Canonero, referring to the traditional way in which hats are manufactured. I made several prototypes in foam. Then we moulded it over a stiff mesh netting, which you can stem and shape. To this, stitch the felt fabric. I chose black as the colour of the hat so the stitching wouldn't show. The other characters around him are all wearing hats, so if we got the proportions wrong, it would really stand out. The proportions were very tricky. Can you imagine? It's like Lord of the Rings, isn't it, with perspective? He's got to sit there and his hat's got to look normal, but it's actually the size of a coffee table.
Yeah.
But
it's brilliant.
Don't think about it, do you? Because he's got the big head.
No.
He's got to have a big hat.
Yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? We'll probably go more into depth on him as a character at a later date, but he's called Little Face, but it's so apparent. It's a massive head. It looks like a massive head.
So his face is to scale, but his head is extra big,
Yeah. So likewise, when they've got some of those shots in the beginning when they're all playing their card game, and then when you're looking behind Littleface's head, he's normal sized, and then when it goes to his face shot, he's now massive, and you're meant to just believe that it's smaller, but it never came across as that.
Can we please go to auction and buy Littleface's hat, and then just have it at home as a coffee table?
It'd be like this.
You'd put legs on it and just everyone would be like, what is that? You're like, well, that's obviously Littleface's hat from the film Dick Tracy. I can't wait till we discuss makeup because I feel like he's going to be key in that conversation. So, this woman's amazing. I think the stuff she's done was incredible, and I really hope they kept a lot of the costumes. I mean, maybe they've kept them because they were thinking they were going to do Dick Tracy too. Perhaps they're in storage somewhere.
Pretty fine. Warren owns them all. It's all his.
Just dresses at bedtime as Dick Tracy's going to bed. So, go on.
Oh yeah, I was going to say the other character who obviously has multiple outfits, not as many as Breathless does, is obviously Big Boy. So I think I made a note to see the different outfits that he has. So he's got the red double-breasted suit with the black pinstripes. That's the one that he wears during when he meets up all the other gang members. He wears it. Then also as well, he has the coat and the hat with that same outfit. So when they go to kill Tracy, and so he's then got the hat with that and with the jacket. So again, it's like he's got one outfit that he adds and removes things, and it feels like he's wearing more.
Okay.
And then there's the other outfit he's got is the teal suit, or the kind of greeny blue suit, again with the black pinstripes.
Is that the one the figure's based on? Is the figure?
That's right. Yes, that's
teal,
it. Yeah. So that's like what he's wearing when Lips goes in the bath. Then when he's doing the dancing with Breathless afterwards, and I think when he comes out of the prison, like he comes out of court and he's coming down the steps, he's wearing that again. But so, and then obviously he's got his tuxedo as well. His outfits are just great. So just like the coats and the hats. And
I'd love to own Al Pacino's Big Boy outfit. He's quite short though, isn't he? So I imagine it'd be quite small. If I'm picturing, what is Al Pacino? It must be about 5 foot by now because he's slowly shrinking. But you buy one and not be able to get it on.
Yeah. But then again, it would have been so much bigger because he had practically had a fat suit on underneath, didn't he?
Oh, the arse would be massive, wouldn't it?
It would. Yeah. The trousers.
MC Hammer pants.
Yeah.
I see it just looking at this costume designer's filmography. She did Megalopolis, which I haven't seen, but that Francis Ford Coppola film from a couple of years ago. So she's still actively working. So another reason to watch that film. There you go. I've been meaning to watch it. So,
put it on the list.
Add it on the list. In fact, she's done costumes for 56 films here. So there's a month's mission to get through all 56.
Oh.
Well, we've watched one at least.
Yeah, exactly. Giving it all the credit it deserves.
Yeah. I wonder if she recycled anything for Godfather Part 3, because obviously that was so close by. I wonder if she used any of that stuff.
Could have done as a joke one day, come in and give like one of Big Boy's outfits to Pacino.
Yeah.
You're wearing this today. Michael's got a new outfit.
Oh, can you imagine how great that would be if Michael Corleone and Big Boy has a scene where they both have the same outfit just randomly? That would be I love that kind of universe building. So any final thoughts then before we bring this to an end in terms of costumes? Anything else you want to add in terms of that? Would the film have worked, I guess, if everyone was wearing generic gangster clothes? Yeah.
I cannot imagine it to have worked any other way than this way. I guess if it was an adult film, if it was an 18 or an R-rated film, then that's probably something that they would have dialed back on. But I feel that it might have just gone to the more monochromatic scale if they'd done that and got rid of colour completely. Which makes you think, if they did a black and white version of it, how much of a difference would that make to the viewing experience? Like, show it to someone who's never seen it, black and white.
Yeah. That'd be a really interesting study, actually, a little kind of black and white Dick Tracy. Would it hold up as well? I did think, though, if everyone was wearing bland colours and he was in his yellow, that would also be kind of cool. Yeah. Because it would be like, he'd just be standing out so much, wouldn't he? Just trying to think of an example. The only example that came in my head was Schindler's List with the girl in the red dress walking through. I was thinking of Sin City with Yellow Bastard. Yellow Bastard, yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, better than Schindler's List. But yeah, just having that one person in coloured form in a movie that's quite drained of colour. But this movie needs the colour. That's why we love it. Yeah. Because it's so comic book. We know she did a great job. We know the costumes are excellent. This was kind of like this episode was just cementing that, really, wasn't it? We knew this definitely. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just reaffirming all of Warren's desires for making this film so good and the effort that he went to again. Yeah, I bet some of this stuff was in Planet Hollywood. Actually, I bet back in the day there would have been at least something from Dick Tracy in one of those Planet Hollywoods. Yeah. Definitely. Again, trail the internet for someone's holiday snaps of a picture next to Tracy's fedora or something. I think I've got a picture in Planet Hollywood somewhere of me with Spock's ears, but that's about as cool as it gets, which I'm happy to share on social media. Please do. Please do. Okay, so moving on to just wind things up. Is there any Dick Tracy news this week? I had a look. I couldn't see any news. When you Google Dick Tracy news, sometimes it comes up with old news stories as well, just to throw you off track. And I got excited thinking, oh my God, is this news? But actually it was like an article from 5 years ago. So there was nothing news. No news is good news in some respects, because it means no one's died.
Yeah, exactly. And another week they survived.
Someone else has lived another week. Dick Tracy purchases, merchandise of the week. Is there anything you've purchased Dick Tracy wise this past week?
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't. No, I haven't found my next Tracy purchase, because I don't want to just buy any old Tracy thing. I've got my eye on a few things. There is something I've got in the pipeline that I have not told you about.
Oh, okay, interesting. Well, you actually sent me a picture this weekend. You were at a toy fair or something similar, and you sent me a stand with lots of random toys on, and you were like, did I buy anything from this stand? And I zoomed in because I saw the Dick Tracy logo.
Yeah.
It was like a hawk. And then I was like, what was that? What was that Dick Tracy thing? And you messaged back. What was it? You told me it was.
So it was Mumbles off just the backing card and the loose figure with no accessories.
Oh, no.
£25, which I think that's quite a lot.
Quite a lot for a figure without its accessories, but it did have the backing card. Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah.
But no, you didn't buy that. But it did make me laugh that I'm just thinking you're always on the hunt.
Yeah. Well, I am. I really am.
Yeah. We do need to get those 12-inch dolls. I've been thinking about those a lot since our toy episode, and we need to get those nice dolls to complete the Playmates collection.
That would be great. So did you pick up anything?
I didn't know. Rare week. Well, I didn't get any Dick Tracy merchandise. Okay. So, but again, I've seen a couple of items I'm following on one of the many sites online. So,
well, there's a piece of merchandise that you have there, which you obviously mentioned. You can show it again. Is that making of book? I mean, that just looks fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the one. I think I brought this prior to doing this podcast online. I mean, we're going to use this quite a bit because it covers. And I think we might have said this in another episode, but it covers visual effects, photography, costume design, production design, and makeup.
Wow, brilliant.
I mean, I don't think Google's going to give you much if you type in Dick Tracy production design, is it?
You've got the Bible of Dick Tracy there, I think.
I have, yeah. And all for about £5 or whatever I paid for it. But you need to get a copy or hold out to your birthday and I'll get you a copy.
Yeah. Good idea.
Okay, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week to discuss more things Dick Tracy. Do you want to just go off on a sidetrack and do a different film next week, or should we stick to Dick Tracy?
I think we've got a few more episodes in us, I think.
Yeah. The Dick Tracy podcast Batman special.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I think next week we'll be completing the figures, I believe. Is that going to be our next week?
I think so. I think there's 3 parts to that. Yeah. So finally get through that. But yeah, get in touch on social media. All our socials are on our channel. And we look forward to speaking to you then.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to get in touch, you can email us at dtmoviepodcast@gmail.com. You'll also find us on X and Instagram at dtmoviepodcast. Or come and join our Facebook group, the Dick Tracy Movie Podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for bonus videos and extra content.